The test of good government is not how few mistakes are made, but how they are corrected when made. Politics is the art of compromise, but compromise is only possible when both sides are willing to listen and learn. The best political leaders are those who balance their principles with practicality. The first duty of a statesman is to educate the people. Politics is not the art of the possible. It consists in choosing between the disastrous and the unpalatable. A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. The greatest enemy of democracy is not tyranny, but indifference. The most important political office is that of the private citizen. The first duty of a citizen is to vote. The second duty is to think. The only way to deal with fear is to face it head on. The test of a government is not how popular it is with the powerful, but how it serves the powerless. The real test of democracy is not the fairness of the voting process, but the fairness of the society in which it operates. Democracy is not just a system of government, it is a way of life. The greatest threat to democracy is not the absence of freedom, but the apathy of its citizens. The true measure of a government's success is not its ability to create wealth, but its ability to create a just and equitable society. Politics is the art of the possible. The measure of a man's real character is what he would do if he knew he would never be found out. The human race has only one really effective weapon, and that is laughter. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Honesty is the best policy, but insanity is a better defense. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. The essence of politics is compromise. The surest way to ruin a nation is to make its rulers corrupt. The problem with politics is not that there are too many crooks, but that there are too many honest people who don't have the courage to stand up to them. You may be deceived if you trust too much, but you will live in torment if you don't trust enough. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. The man who can smile when things go wrong has thought of someone else he can blame it on. No government can be all things to all people. The best way to predict the future is to study the past or prognosticate from it. The art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook. No government can give you everything you want, but it can take away everything you have. The chief duty of government is to keep the peace and stand out of the sunshine of the people. The ideal form of government is democracy tempered with assassination. The problem of government is how to get the power of all the people working together for the good of all. One of the tests of the civilization of a people is the treatment of its criminals. Politics is the art of making the impossible possible. The welfare of the state depends upon the morals of its citizens. Democracy is not a government, it is a way of thinking, a way of life. It is not the party, but the people who make the government. It is not the government, but the people who create the wealth. The only way to deal with politicians is to make them unemployed. A vote is like a rifle. Its usefulness depends upon the character of the user. The most dangerous person in the world is someone who has nothing to lose. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Politics is not a bad profession. If you succeed, there are many rewards. If you disgrace yourself, you can always write a book. The best political weapon is the weapon of terror. Crudely commands respect. Men may hate us, but we don't ask for their love, only for their fear. The more corrupt the state, the more numerous the laws. The difference between a politician and a statesman is that the politician thinks about the next election, while the statesman thinks about the next generation. In politics, the impossible often becomes the inevitable. In politics, stupidity is not a handicap. Politics is the science of who gets what, when, and why.